compatibility and the role of astrology in that. So this was scheduled to begin at 11 o'clock. But it's 11:36 from some mysterious reason. So what I need to know from you is an exact time when we need to stop, including question and answer and everything. Do you want to stop as planned at 1 o'clock? Or do you want to go a little later? Because in this way, I will organize my presentation accordingly. Thank you for mentioning it. Should we stop at 1? 1 is fine? Yes. Okay, so we need to keep it a little quick. Now, astrology and Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. This is a complex theme, especially because we are looking through the lenses of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And he said many things, he wrote many things. And just to give you a preview, he said and he wrote things such as astrology, it's a great science. He said things like, we believe in astrology. But on the other side, he also say things like, people don't know it. It's a difficult science. And when disciples started going to astrology, he even called it nonsense. So you have the whole range, from great science to nonsense. And therefore, it's a little complex. So we'll start with an overview of what Srila Prabhupada said, to give you a certain feel of the topic. Okay? And let's define astrology as the study of various celestial bodies, the grahas. Not all of them are planets by modern classification. On the human destiny, human psychology, human personal characteristics. So, this is based on the teaching of Srila Prabhupada. These are the three first books that Srila Prabhupada brought to the West. First canto in 3 volumes. There, 12th chapter, text 12, Srila Prabhupada writes, a man's destiny is ascertained by the birth time constellation of stars, and the factual horoscope is made by a learned astrologer. You all heard about natal chart, birth chart, horoscope. Okay? So by the position of the various celestial bodies, we can understand the person's destiny on some level, obviously. It is a great science. A misuse of a science doesn't make it useless. See, in the same sentence he says it's a great science, but it can also be misused. In a letter to Lilavati, we are going actually mostly chronologically. Okay? So what he wrote that even before coming to the West, early 60s. In 67, he wrote to a disciple, Lilavati, from San Francisco. Your child should be named Subhadra, the name that you have already chosen. This is nice. Regarding the horoscope, it is a nice idea. And if I meet a good astrologer, I shall try to get one for your little child. This was the period in which Srila Prabhupada came back to India the first time, for taking care of his health. So, saying, if I meet a good astrologer, I'll ask for a horoscope for your little daughter. Now, I don't know if he ever he found a good astrologer or not. That I don't know. We should find maybe from Mother Lilavati. 67. A couple of years later, it's a conversation in Los Angeles. Tama Krishna, at the time was not Maharaj. What is the position of astrology in Krishna consciousness? Srila Prabhupada, astrology is a science. Krishna consciousness has nothing to do with astrology. But it is the general custom that as soon as a child is born, the astrologers come. That is the Indian system, Vedic system. Again, here this is one of those almost apparently paradoxical statements. Astrology is a science, but Krishna consciousness has nothing to do with astrology. Okay. Here we have a morning walk in Los Angeles, 4 years later. Jaya Hari. Prabhupada, this morning you talked about astrology in your lecture. Is this accepted in the Vedic scripture and by the gurus? Srila Prabhupada, oh yes, astrology means, that is also Vedic, Jyotirveda, Jyotirveda. That is also part of the Vedas. It might be wrongly done or rightly, but the system is still there. Again, introduce the idea, maybe rightly done or wrongly. So, the system is there. Sujit is the same conversation. See, astrology is a science, but it's not an exact science like mathematics and chemistry. Srila Prabhupada, no, it is mathematics. Astrology is simply based on mathematics. Exactly, it is a great science. People do not know it now. We believe in astrology. In fact, later on, see, it's the same conversation, but because it is a difficult science, people do not understand it properly. That is another thing. In my practical life, I see, in my horoscope, everything is written. What I'm doing, everything is written. As you know, the astrologer has predicted when he will be 70, he will go to the west, open 108 temples, which is what happened. That was an astrologer. Okay. So that was the place where Srila Prabhupada would walk in Los Angeles, often, Venice Beach. Now, a couple of years later, in a personal letter to a lady, Deva Maya, regarding astrology, you should not listen to any of these so-called astrologers. Strictly avoid. Don't even see them. What is the use of seeing them? Astrology is meant for the materialist, but the spiritualist does not care for the future. Everything is dependent upon Krishna. So where is the necessity of astrology? The devotee's principle is, let there happen anything as Krishna desires. Let me remain sincere devotee, that's all. Pure devotee is never interested in this astrology. So this closes the seminar. Thank you for coming. See you today at the Sunday program. No, we'll continue a little bit. Okay. No, I thought. Okay, letter to Sanatana Das, another disciple. No, you should not bother with all this nonsense. Astrology will not save you at the time of death. My Guru Maharaj was a great astrologer, an astronomer, but he gave it all up. It is meant for the karmis. We have no interest in such things. And this really closes the seminar. Thank you for coming. Okay. Some devotees get burdened by their astrological chart. Get burdened in many ways. First of all, they identify with the body, they identify with the mind, Second, they see the chart, some devotees see the chart in a materialistic way. In other words, what's good, what's bad, based on how pleasant it will be. See, astrology, when done properly, it's a science of warning, it's a science of learning, it's a science of seeing the lessons we have to learn in life. We are here on this earth, we are here in these bodies, we are here in these births we have taken to learn. It's not a joy ride, it's not a vacation, it's education. So we face different situations which are meant and can be used for our edification, our education, our elevation, our instruction. It's not by chance that we are born in a certain family, in a certain place, we have gone through certain experiences. Now, if you go to a materialistic astrologer, he may see things in terms of good and bad. Oh, this is a good period, this is a bad period. But the devotee following Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does not see like that. Lord Chaitanya said, Dhaite bhadra bhadra gyan sab mano dharma. Ei balo ei manda ei sab ram. Dhaite, dvaite. In this world of duality, Dhaite bhadra bhadra gyan. The knowledge, the so-called knowledge of what's auspicious is what's not auspicious, sab manodharma. It's all a mental speculation. It's an imagination. This is good, this is bad. E balo, e manda. To think this is good and this is bad, it's all a mistake. Some devotees may think like this. If I could only have the sun in my first house and Mars in the 11th. So instead of thinking, again, of Krishna, how do I develop pure love for Krishna and how purify myself? No, if materially this universe would have been more generous with me, and some devotees come to the point of being like this. They have this burden of astrological readings, and they're just thinking, I hope I can make it to my next appointment with my new astrologer. They go from one to another, to another, to another. They're never satisfied. They're never clear. Like that. Srimad Bhagavatam. There are actually a couple of places, I mean, there are more places, but there are a couple of situations in life in which Srila Prabhupada did recommend the use of astrology. And these two situations are when you have a baby and before you get married. But this is a more general concept. When a devotee is in distress, he sees that the Lord has appeared as distress just to relieve or purify the devotee from the contamination of material world. While one is within this material world, one is in various conditions, and therefore a devotee sees a condition of distress as but another feature of the Lord. A devotee therefore regards distress as a great favor of the Lord because he understands it is being cleansed of contamination. A non-devotee therefore is perturbed in distress, but a devotee welcomes distress as another feature of the Lord. When a devotee is in distress, he sees that it's a form of the Lord, meant to purify the devotee. It's not going to an astrologer, oh, give me a stone, tell me a homa, give me a yantra, do me a tantra, give me a mantra. But again, there are a couple of situations which Srila Prabhupada even apparently recommends it. It is the duty of a father to understand the astrological position of his children and do what is needed for their happiness. This means if you have an idea of the cycle physical, psychophysical situation for your baby, then you know what is his or her nature. Huh? So you will not force him or her to do something that is not his nature. It's not because the neighbors think that becoming a doctor is the ultimate goal of life, then you push your child to become a doctor. And maybe that's not her nature. Or because the relatives think that becoming an engineer is basically the same as reaching Krishna Prema, then you push your son to become an engineer, if that's not his nature. We need engineers in the world, and some are engineers, but some are not engineers. And we do other things. We need other things, right? We need artists, choreographers, intellectuals, poets, and so on. So if you know the nature of your son, hopefully you will not push him or her to do something artificial. Okay? So it's a practical thing. Because as a parent, you have the authority, at least until they are young. So this is Garga Muni, Gargacharya, who did the horoscope of Krishna and Balaram. Of course, theirs was a very special horoscope. But still, they could see many things. This is another famous painting. Now, another situation which Srila Prabhupada did recommend astrology, or the possible use of astrology, is when we get married. According to the Vedic system, the parents will consider the horoscopes of the boy and girl who were to be married. Horoscope means, and I believe many of you, before getting married, your parents checked, right? Huh? Unfortunately, that practice is sometimes corrupted, because sometimes the parents want a particular marriage and pay the astrologer to make the chart match. Especially among rich people, they do that. Anyway, as Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Srila Prabhupada says, in astrology, a man is considered fortunate who has a great wealth, very good sons, or a very good wife. Before marrying, one should select a wife of like disposition and not be enamored by so-called beauty or other attractive features for sense gratification. So good nature, like disposition, you can also find a lot about astrology. No? What kind of type of person the person is. 6th canto, Srila Prabhupada said, the custom in Vedic society is to examine the horoscopes of a girl and boy being considered for marriage, to see whether the combination is suitable. You know the 3 ganas, Rakshasa, Deva, and Manusha. Huh? Generally, you try to have people of the same nature. Huh? And by the way, Rakshasa Gana doesn't mean the person is a demon. And many great saints are Rakshasa Gana, even in ISKCON. It's a different mood. It's a different mood in life. Huh? So, people getting married, they're happy. You want them to remain happy, remain together. So then you need to check, are they compatible or not? So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad-gita says, we can read together, Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maishwaram suridam sarvabhutanam Yatvam Shanti. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerity, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So these planets are real. This is an illustration representation of the Navagrahas, with the sun in the center. And they are real, but at the same time, they're also servant of the Lord. So there are, see, when you go to, again, mundane astrologers, they may give a certain solution or certain counteracting processes. But there are Vaishnava ways. There are Vaishnava ways of doing the same, because each of the Navagraha on top has a form of the Lord. So by actually worshipping that form of the Lord, then you will have the same, and you develop your Krishna consciousness. You're taking directly shelter in Krishna. But many astrologers, even devotee astrologers, don't know that. Okay, so any questions so far? Yep.
Can you repeat that sentence where you said each of the navagrahas is a symbol of the navagraha?
No. Each of the Navagrahas have on top of them, in charge of them, they have a specific avatar. Kurma, Nishinga, Ramachandra, and so on. So if you have a trouble with a particular planet, you do not have to go directly to that planet. You can go to that form of the Lord. Like for instance, for a certain case, see, I'm not an astrologer, so I'm talking about the principles, but I don't know the details. For instance, I believe it was Mars, Varaha. Mars is Varaha. So if you have a trouble with Mars, you go to Varaha, you read the Bhagavatam chapters about Varaha. Varahu, maybe Rao. Okay, so again, but you get the principle. There are different each. So that's, in one sense, it's a devotional way. You have a trouble with that because of our karma, so we have something problematic, so we can go directly to the Lord. So there is a Vaishnava way of doing remedies, Vaishnava astrological remedies. Any other question? Yes?
I'm still trying to frame the question. You said for the kids we have to see the astrology and then diagram. Like I was thinking, we will have some kind of expectations already. So how do I thought when we don't see it, we won't be having an expectation on the kid, and we just go with the flow. Like whatever Krishna desires and whatever the kid desires, they will be doing that. So how should I understand the importance of looking at the star signs and astrology?
Okay, see, astrology or not astrology, everybody has a certain nature, okay? There are other ways to find people's nature. In the West, they have personality test. Have you heard about Myers-Briggs? How many of you have heard about Myers-Briggs? Okay, so there are 16 personality types. There are tests. And if you answer honestly, you'll get a lot of idea. And then you can see, because you know yourself, you know how you think in different situations. So it's not just astrology. Like you just Myers-Briggs is used in many companies for career orientation and this and that. There's another system, it's called Enneagram. Have you heard about Enneagram? It's a 9 personality type, okay? Each has got 3 subdivisions and so on and so forth. Okay, so astrology is not the only way. What Srila Prabhupada is saying is that, yeah, the Vedic way is astrology, and the goal is to understand the nature of the child. So if you know the nature of the child, you can orient to fulfill that nature. See, I'm not clear what you mean by going with the flow, because for the child, sometimes he may just say, oh, I don't want to study, I don't want to go to school. So what you're going to say, okay, he doesn't want to go to school, he's, That's his nature, to be an animal. It's okay. I'll send him to the zoo instead, you know. You won't go for that. Or also going with the flow means what? In certain countries of the world, like India, people think that they really push hard their children to become engineer or doctors. It's just like, and that's very wrong. Very wrong, because maybe it's not their nature. And so you have people that do things for their whole life that there's not their nature. And they get sick, and there's so many consequences of going by social pressure, especially an unenlightened social pressure. So if you know the nature of your child when it's a question of taking a decision, it doesn't have to be astrology, it can be other forms, but at least you have an idea, and you need to be very careful to have your preconceived ideas of what your child should become, because that's not your duty. You follow? It's not some sort of piece of wood that you shape whatever you want. You follow? It's a living entity. It's a part and parcel of Krishna. You're there to take care of the person. You have to guide, but not just according to your mental speculation, according to what's good for him or her. I give you an example. In India, one place I will not tell you, but there was my wife, she is an astrologer. And so one lady, initiated devotee, went to my wife and said, I have a lot of trouble with my son, a lot of trouble. And my wife started thinking maybe he's handicapped or retarded. The way she was talking, okay, was really by some serious problem. And then he said, okay, I'll come home, I'll see him, okay. And she was expecting really something tragic. Then she went home, and the boy came back. He jumped the gate. He walked in all happy, and they put the bag in the down, all full of energy like that. So my wife, at least it's not in a wheelchair or something, And then this mother, she had a devotee, desperate. You see. And she opened the bag full of drawings, full of drawings. And then, you see, he always draws, always draws. I want him to become an engineer, but he always draws. First of all, was 8-year-old, so it was kind of early to become an engineer. But she was really desperate. But then my wife checked the chart. He's an artist. He can be a choreographer. He can be a movie director. I mean, there are many exciting careers. You can make a lot of money. You can become famous. You can be fulfilled if that's your nature. You work with art, creativity, right? And this boy was perfectly normal. Physically, mentally, everything. It's just that he's an artist. He thinks in terms of expression. He thinks in terms of showing things to others. And this mother was desperate. What my relatives will think if he becomes an artist. Okay? So, if you have that acceptance that people have different nature, they will succeed in different fields because that's their nature, and society has a room for many roles, right? So you relax and you see the child, and if that's their nature, let's help him or her becoming that. There are some universal things, because everybody is a devotee, you can help become a devotee. But in terms of engagement, everybody has different nature. If you take an intellectual, studying, researching, comparing, and you put him in a field, he may die of sunstroke. If you put a farmer, a natural farmer, you put him to study books, he will go mad. He will just be restless. Obviously, this is obvious. Okay, well, 2 more questions and then we move to the second part. Yes. about marriage compatibility.
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, in these days, everything is commercialized.
Indian?
In these days, everything.
Oh, in these days.
In these days, everything is commercialized.
Yes, in fact, I forgot to mention this seminar costs $50.
And then age of computers. So even astrology, like there are a lot of computer programs which will give the astrology. So how do we understand the right person or the right place to go for if the astrology?
And why you need to go?
Because Srila Prabhupada mentioned that child.
Okay. Okay. It's a very difficult question because, see, even among astrologers and even among ISKCON astrologers, there's a lot of controversy, even what system of astrology to use. See, we laymen, we lay people, we think astrology. But actually, within the astrology, there's a lot of controversy. There's North India, South India. Within South India, there are those who take sidereal zodiac, and other people say tropical zodiac, and sometimes makes a lot of difference. According to one system, you are a sign. According to another system, you are another sign. Sometimes doesn't change much, but sometimes change completely, like that. So, how to know? It's a big question. Also, sometimes there are astrologers who are good devotees, but they're not so good astrologers. I'll give some example later. So, how to find a good astrologer? Generally, my general understanding is for the child nature, it's not so complicated. But again, you may find one person who uses a system and it tells you something completely different. So it's very difficult. So I don't have really an answer, especially because you're not going to study astrology for 20 years to find the right astrologer, right? And unfortunately, see, this is a problem. See, when you look for a doctor, there are entities, government entities in America and India and every country of the world that says this person is a doctor, okay? Means he studied for so many years, he studied anatomy, he studied physiology, he studied medicine, okay? So somebody is a doctor legally, then you know that at least he has some standard. Maybe a good doctor, but at least he got, no. An astrologer you don't know. Somebody may have studied a lot, and somebody studied very little. Just Googled a few things in the internet and get some paper read, and that's all he knows. Would you let a doctor make surgery on you if he says, "Oh, I Googled a lot about medicine and Wikipedia, I read all the articles." You follow? So there is no standard. There are some schools of astrology, but how many people went there? I know one girl in South America. She got just few ideas from my wife, just few introduction idea, and then she started reading hands of people. And she started saying, you this, you that, and she did not know anything. She was just speculating. So, how to recognize which astrologers to use? It's very, very difficult. There are some serious astrologers. There are. But I'm not going to tell, go to him, don't go to him. I'm not going to tell. First of all, because I'm not in that position, technically. More on that later. We'll discuss more. Did you already ask a question? No. Okay, sorry. Okay, we need to move on because we got many things to cover. Yes. Huh? What about marriage? Huh? What you're saying? What about? Oh, no, I understand. What about, what do you want to ask?
You mentioned about the principal form of Lord Vishnu were each of the demigods and Navagrahas.
Ah.
So I was thinking, like, since we are already doing the Maha Mantra, since as devotees we are chanting the Maha Mantra, if say for example I have some problem with one of the Navagrahas and that the principal deity is Varaha, maybe I need to do certain things, certain mantras related to Varaha. And in this busy day-to-day schedule, I was thinking since I'm already chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, maybe I need not delve into that zone of knowing who the principal deity is.
What's your question? So,
Like would automatically
automatically?
the chanting
Maha
of
Mantra
Maha Mantra
covers.
would automatically.
Okay, look, first of all, you saw this important thing. If you see distress as the Lord, as a way to purify yourself, to learn a lesson, to become humble and so on, you may not look for remedy. Of course, if you have a toothache, you go to a dentist. Let's be practical. Obviously, you cut your feet, you put some alcohol and so on and so forth. These are remedies, okay? If you see, the problem is this also. When you start dwelling in astrology, you you start thinking of having so many problems that somebody who doesn't deal with astrology doesn't have. You follow? Or they have anyway, so, it's part of life. But if you happen to know that, I have a problem with this particular planet, okay? If, I'm not here to tell you, as you check your chart, see what problems you have, and then start doing the remedy. I'm not saying that. If you already checked with some astrologer, and astrologer, you have this thing here and there, and then there is a Vaishnava way, which most astrologers don't even know, okay? And you want to do the remedy, the question is, I can just chant Hare Krishna, okay? Yes, at the same time, every mantra has a certain function. Hare Krishna is to develop love for God. Panchatattva mantra, we chant to remove offenses. So, there are different mantras have different purposes and different functions. Yes, of course, Krishna, every avatar is in Krishna. So when you chant Krishna's name, in one sense, includes everyone. But depends also how purely you chant, right? So, your last question, then we have to move on because we only have 45 minutes. What is your question?
My question is, when a child is born, and when a person is getting married, that's what Prabhupada said, you can check astrology. Makes sense also because, understanding the psychophysical nature of the child, and definitely at the time of marriage, it sounds like, it's a good idea to... Even though that...
So what's your question?
Because the question is like, if you don't know who you can trust, because I remember you telling that some astrologers look at, 36 point or some compatibility, and some say that's of no use, you have to look something else, right? These are different people are looking at various things.
Yes.
So,
What's your question?
It would be nice if you can definitely tell Is there somebody reliable who people can go to? I know you will not give an answer, but still asking because it is a need here. So many
Yeah,
people have to get
I know.
married.
No,
Not me.
now look. I tell you the truth. Frankly, because there is a need. There is a need because devotees go to astrologers anyway, and so I have a plan, and that I have a desire that the Congregational Development Ministry develops a course for astrologers, at least to check compatibility. We have people who could develop that. But right now, I tell you, no, I tell you, like for instance, I give you an example, okay? My wife, she stopped doing reading. Just a few days ago, she wrote me, I'm doing a chart. This is the last chart I'm doing for a long time. But because she does it very seriously, okay? She checks a lot of things. She spends hours. So she just wants to move to something else. She doesn't want to do it. Even before, she didn't want to do it. And she had a couple of astrologers she trusts, okay? And then she started sending these people to them. But they also said, no, I don't want to do it anymore. So it's like the good ones don't want to do it. Anyway, okay. Anyway, since you introduced this idea of marriage compatibility, we'll talk about that, okay? How does it sound? So premarital training and compatibility. We have 42 minutes. It's not much, so we need to go a little quick. Why I'm taking interest again, this family life of my students? Because I want to see them properly progress towards spiritual life. Therefore, I'm personally taking interest that they may become good gentlemen and lady by marriage. This marriage is for purification of life. Marriage is actually a duty performed in mutual cooperation as directed in the authoritative scripture for spiritual advancement. Therefore, marriage is essential in order to avoid the life of cats and dogs who are not meant for spiritual enlightenment. So again, we are not against marriage. Philosophically, even Srila Prabhupada was a sannyasi, helped people get married. At the beginning, he did even the marriage sacrifice, which generally sannyasis don't do. So we consider that the marriage is like a ship. The ocean is like the years of youth. Marriage like a ship, but unfortunately sometimes the ship sinks. And one reason is because sometimes there's no compatibility. Okay? So, that's the definition. Capacity of existing or performing in harmonious, agreeable, or congenial combination with others. How do you feel when you are with someone compatible? How do you feel? Happy? Hopeful? Satisfied? Trusting? Secure? Okay, so you feel good, basically, okay? How do you feel when somebody is incompatible? Stressed? Shut down, closed, obviously. Good. You say the opposite of all this. What did you say? Oh. Frustrated, and so on, so forth. You never felt. Well, we'll give you a demonstration. Then, So conjugal compatibility, what is it? Is it possible? That's the question. Is it useful to know? Astrology, can we use astrology? Let's see. See, regardless of the affluence of the boy, you understand affluence, how much money the boy has, or the personal beauty of the girl, without this astrological compatibility, the marriage will not take place. This is Srila Prabhupada. If, according to astrological calculation, there was a conflict between the godly and demoniac nature, he's talking about Deva and Rakshasas, the marriage will not take place. She's a Deva, he's a Rakshasa. No, find somebody else. The central idea is that if the boy and girl were on an equal level, the marriage will be happy. Whereas inequality will lead to unhappiness. Before care is no longer taken in marriage, we now find many divorces. So Srila Prabhupada brings one reason, powerful reason of divorce, because compatibility is not taken care. People marry, especially by mutual attraction, and then the mutual attraction become mutual distraction. So some balance of the personality should be there. We believe in astrology, we read that before, but because it has different signs, people do not understand it properly. So it's a quandary. You follow, you say, yeah, but... So, just to have an idea of astrological compatibility and how to know if an astrologer is not good for compatibility. This will go quick. There are 4 foundational. These are foundations, okay? See, this is the earth. This is like a house. These are walls and so on and so forth, rooms, okay? Imagine this as a house. Then, 4 elements are the foundation. And because they are so important, foundation, they are not even given numbers. Either they are there or not, they are not there. They are not calculated in terms of numbers. So, foundation is, some are negative, some are positive. Means, one is absence of basic karmic mismatch. Each has got their own, what do you call, Sanskrit name. Absence of bad fortune. Presence of general welfare. And presence of basic karmic harmony. And so on and so forth. Okay? So these are if a good astrologer first sees these 4, okay? Maitrikuta and all like that, okay? And if they are not there, the marriage is not there because there's no basic, there's no the foundation. You can't build a house, okay, without foundation. But are you sure it's not for you? We'll give it again. Look, this is not a... Anyway, we need to move on. Take a picture. Oh yeah, there are programs. See, the computer programs are there. But the computer programs tell you so many things, and some people don't even look at these things. If you don't know, you follow. So the programs, they tell you this thing. No problem. But some people need to know. Some people just, the program is written in Sanskrit that doesn't even know what it means. No, you have to check both, obviously. You have to check both. This is the compatibility. Because, see, say presence of general welfare. These are general English translations, okay? This is not a technical, this is not to train you to do astrology. So, obviously, the same person will have the presence of general welfare with a number of people and will not have the presence of general welfare with another people. So it's the couple. You're seeing the couple, okay? It's like chemical. A chemical by itself sits there, but then you mix with another chemical. No, it may mix or it may explode. She is a biochemist, right? Foundations, the foundation of the house, okay? Then there is the house. So, okay, these are the foundation. Without the basic karmic mix match, the house goes in pieces. Or without the absence of bad fortune, means there is bad fortune. Maybe the husband dies very quickly. So what's the point of marrying him anyway? The presence of bad fortune, then there's a lot of shaking and a lot of disappearance. Then if there is, what's that? Presence of general welfare, if there is not, the absence of the house will crack. You laugh, but you know. And if there is no presence of, there is absence of basic karmic harmony, bang, the whole house goes into. Okay, now what happens very often, and again, what happens very often, this is the main structure of the house, and people just focus on this, okay? This is physiological temperament, productivity, psychological temperament, companionship, okay? This is given 8, this is given 7, this is given 6, this is given 5. So 26 points out of 36. Then there is, so this is the Varna, okay? Godly or demoniac. Not Varna, sorry, the Ghana. Huh? A girl of godly quality should be handed over to a boy of godly quality. A girl of demoniac quality should be handed over to a boy of demoniac quality. Then they will be happy. And by demoniac quality, it doesn't mean that they're two demons. You know, they are Rakshasa. They are Rakshasa Gana. They think in a similar way. They're more like into taking risks. They don't mind saying no to certain things. Okay? And so together, and they are generally very intense people. So they, but between each other are okay. But if you put a Rakshasa and a Manusha, the Rakshasa will dominate the Manusha. Will dominate. Of course, some people may be good to be dominated by. But generally, the general idea is you got the same wavelength, okay? Because they think in different ways. So we read this because care is not taken, then there is divorce. Okay, more analysis. You see, these are 4 rooms. So this is intimacy, the bedroom. Then duty. Then interaction comfort. Then there is social compatibility. Okay? But this probably means Varna, you know? Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana. Okay? And even that is so complicated just to understand what that means astrologically. So these are the numbers. 1, 3. See, some are more weight. Some have more weight. Some have less weight. And also the weight is relative to the lifestyle. Like for instance, for a devotee, the red one is less important than for karmi. Anyway, so 10 points out of 36. So, Now there's no house anymore. So then these are two things, the tree and the fountain, okay? There is affinity, there is attraction, and so on and so forth. Which is a different calculation. But as long as either is attached to other for such material enjoyment, the woman is dangerous for the man, and the man is also dangerous for the woman. And you're laughing. I don't really know why you're laughing. I mean, but anyway, okay, Hare Krishna. You're happy, fine. I'm happy, you're compatible with this PowerPoint. I'm happy. Okay, fine. Okay. So, but again, it's the mood. You follow the mood. Because you may say compatibility is this. But if your mood is off, your life is off. So, if you just think, how can I enjoy this person, or I can enjoy in this relation, that's already wrong. And then the problems start. Because I'm not enjoying this, I'm not enjoying that, I'm not enjoying that. Nobody ever tapped on you on the shoulder and say, sir, you're not enjoying anyway. But if the attachment is transferred to Krishna, both of them become Krishna conscious, and then marriage is very nice. Okay, back to this house. So the percentage, the foundation does not have numbers, remember. And these are the numbers of this thing. So the total is 36. Maximum is 36. If you've got 36 matching, it's 100%. Okay? But you may have 100%. I know people, they have 100% and they're divorced. And I know people who have very little compatibility by numbers, and they stay together, they have children, they have many children, grandchildren. So, this is a practical thing. When you go to an astrologer, if all they come up with is a percentage, means that astrologer doesn't know about matching. And sometimes they may be very good devotees. They may be Srila Prabhupada disciples. But if they come up only with the percentage, I have to tell you, they don't know about matching charts. Okay? They don't know. They may know Krishna, they may know the Bhagavatam, but they don't know marriage compatibility. So that's a sign. So, because you get often these things. How much is the matching? 32%, 19%, 75%, 92%, right? But that's the part of the house does not even consider the foundation. So that's like a test, practical test. You can take, you ask an astrologer, they come up only with the percentage, means they don't know. And be careful, because it may be, 93%, that's great. But if there is no foundation, plus, you got to see the moon, you got to see the nakshatras. You all know your nakshatras? This, no? Some nakshatras, for instance, should never get married. Even if everything else matches. Just because those two nakshatras should not get married. I have a practical experience in Mayapur. He's a nice devotee, he does some astrology. He's a nice devotee. Can't say he's not a nice devotee. But he matched two people, and he didn't calculate the nakshatras, he didn't know about this, and they are from two groups, two nakshatras, they should never get married. So their marriage lasted 13 months. 13 months, and not 13 months of peace and love. 13 months of struggle. 13 months of anxiety, 13 months of thinking, should we divorce, should we not divorce? 13 months of pain. Fortunately, they didn't have any child. But 13 months, the marriage was destroyed. Just because the astrologer made a mistake. Of course, you can say it's their karma. I'm not now. But the astrologer was supposed to help. He didn't help. Other astrologer, I know one astrologer, now he's no more. But it was very nice. He was doing for free, so it was not commercial or anything, okay? He was a really detached person. But he didn't know really so much how to deal with people. So what he said, there was an already married couple. There's already a married couple. That which is it's another, what do you call? It's another skill level. Because one thing they are not married, you can tell, okay, no, forget about this. Okay? But they're already married. Can't do that. So, he said something like, be careful because I see the possibility of a second marriage. But his point is be careful. You follow? But they forgot the be careful. They concluded, the astrologer said, there's a second marriage. So from that day, they started looking, who is my next wife? Who is my next husband? You laugh. I don't know why you laugh. This is like a horror stories. No, we can laugh. Let's all laugh. Of course. Or, like for instance, you heard that, when Aishwarya Roy married that tree? Huh? Because there are remedies, right? You got two marriages. First marriage, you marry a banana tree, which even if you divorce, they will never ask you for money. So, Aishwarya Roy, she was born after you. So, there are remedies. Instead of marrying a human being, you marry a banana tree. Yeah. It's famous. I mean, many people know. So karmically or whatever, you had already your first marriage. So when you go to your real first marriage, technically is the second marriage. So there are things like that. You follow? But some people don't know. Huh? Huh? I don't know. I'm not an astrologer, but it's a tradition. Many people, it's common, no? But it's common. It's done sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's a way for the temple to make money. You have the trees here. You can make people marry to your trees. We got special trees. They have a very good compatibility. Huh? Okay, so there is nakshatra, there is the position of moon, the ascendant, and there is position of Venus, there is position of Mars. There are many things because you're joined to people. Okay? And of course, over and above, in one sense, is the culture, the value. You follow? Are they serious that Srila Prabhupada, I can bring up so many quotes, but Srila Prabhupada said, devotee, okay, God gave me this wife, or God gave me this husband, be satisfied. It's an attitude, you follow? It's an attitude. Okay, I have my wife, I have my husband. And we were in Pune 1 month ago. My wife, somebody came, and she would kept 15 minutes complaining about the husband, which from what my wife understood was not so bad. It was not a rakshasa. No, it was just a devotee, but maybe some weakness there, here and there. So 15 minutes, my husband, this is my husband, my husband, this is my husband, my husband, this is my husband. After 15 minutes, my wife asked, excuse me, Mataji, but what makes you think that you deserve a better husband? And she didn't have anything to say. She just was go. Because apparently she was thinking, I'm such an extraordinary divine being descended from the highest heavens. Huh? It's very, I need to have an extraordinary husband. Obviously, I'm an extraordinary person. My husband should always be, I mean, the universe must have made a mistake. I don't know if I can get a refund. Huh? At least half money. You follow? Sometimes with the attitude. The devotee thinks, I got a wife, that's already lucky that somebody married me. No? Otherwise, Trinadapi Sunichana means what? We come to the temple. Trinadapi Sunichana Taroriva Suishana. Then you go home. Is it ready? Is the dinner ready? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? Then he goes back. Trinadapi Sunichana. But why? Not the wife thing. Why my husband doesn't have 4 arms? Be happy. He doesn't have 4 legs. So numbers are not enough. Numbers are not enough. Okay? Yes. That's actually that you can take it like this. You can take it like this. No? We are here to learn. We are not here to enjoy. You follow? And definitely marriage can help. Teach a lot of lessons. Huh? You think that to be the controller, and then you realize that actually your wife is the controller. So, say you get 32 out of 36, 88.9. But is compatibility enough? This is a nice analogy. You can have the best kitchen, okay? The best kitchen. Imagine that the best pots and the best boga, the basmati rice and the sugar, pure sugar and this and that, everything the best. But you can still burn everything, right? You have, and then you can have a very simple village thing. One basically is a hole in the ground, some pots, still you can cook a very nice meal. Right? Because you know how to cook. You use what you have. Because here you may think, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And here you say, well, I have this. God gave me some food to cook. And the mood is good and the food is good. Right? So, it's not really what you have, one sense, but it's how grateful you are about what you have. And if you're not grateful, you won't be happy with anything. You won't be happy with anything. Because you cannot be happy in touch with material energy. So if you see the material energy, you cannot be happy, full stop. Plus it's temporary anyway. Okay, so, Krishna. So we are almost there. What about training? Again, what system in ISKCON? What's the system we have in ISKCON for training people who want to get married? How many systems? How many courses we have? Have you? Yeah, that's the point. We are working, we did a course, matrimonial website, what values. See, sometimes there is this matrimonial website, okay? But they're just listing. It's like, some of them are almost like, now, some people find a good match. It's a fact. Okay? There are pros and cons. But I know some ladies, some young ladies, respectable ladies, they stop putting their names. There's some weird people to write, and some people have very strange expectations and this and that. So, anyway, we at the Congregational Development Ministry, inspired by Jayapataka Maharaj, because he, as a guru, he sees a lot of issues, a lot of problems. Sometimes he said, he was joking, but in a very sad way. He told us, look, outside my door, write this, Jayapataka Swami. Matrimonial problems, economic problems, career problems, sexual problems, mental problems, and then very small, you write down spiritual questions. Because our gurus are approached by all sorts of people, all sorts of things. So they know. Like Ramapad Maharaj just gave a class a few days ago in Chicago. He was saying, I don't know if anybody of you were there, but he was saying, I never got married. But you know how he speaks in a very elegant, gentlemanly way. But basically he said, I never got married, but I spent enough time with enough families to know enough what's the dynamics of marriage. He said, so he heard so many things in life. So anyway, we made a website. The website is up. It's called bhaktimarriage.com. There is an online training, premarital training. This is the website. It's up. The courses are ready. The first 2 courses are ready. We just need some technical thing, development thing. The lessons are ready. So hopefully within a month, they will be available. Okay? So this idea is the people will learn what Srila Prabhupada said about many things. There are 2 courses, one for men, one for women. Some lessons are for both. And some lessons are just for men, and some lessons are just for women. Because, different psychology, they need to learn certain things. Okay. So, I hope you find useful when your children will get married. The system is that they go through some 35 lessons. Each is about 1,000 words. There are a couple of questions, so people really reflect on those things. And then when they pass and they graduate, they can put, if they want, they can put their names in the database. And in the database will only go people who went through the course. So it's not just open to everybody like that. Yes? Yeah. You can see that some things are specifically for premarital, but you can learn a lot. I personally, I helped in putting it together, and I learned a lot because I discovered certain things that Srila Prabhupada said I didn't know. Or I reread things I read again, but in a different light. So yes, it's a fact. Even those who are already married can learn a lot. But this specific level is geared towards premarital. But yes, definitely can be very useful. And let's see, is this finished? We believe that in order to have stable and successful marriage in ISKCON, devotees must study and understand the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. We believe that before single man and woman start to think whom to get married with, they must prepare themselves. See, generally, people a certain age start, I want to get married. It's natural, okay? But before even looking who is the person, they should think of themselves. Are they ready? And so we talk about financial fitness. Some devotees think of get married and they don't have anything. They don't know. Then we talk about charity fitness. No, Grihastha should do charity. Are you ready for that? What does it mean? Even physical fitness, emotional fitness. Are you ready for a serious relation, living with somebody else? So we talk about all these things. Of course, it's not a guarantee that people will go outside of this course as self-realized grihasthas. But at least they've been exposed to things that many times people don't think of. One of my favorite parts of this course is that towards the end, there are more than 100 questions that you should speak with your prospective person. In other words, because people sometimes don't like to speak because, oh, maybe we disagree on certain things. Doesn't mean that you cannot get married if you don't agree on everything, but at least you know. Like one of the two is very austere. Yeah, we sleep on the floor, we put a mat, and we don't need hot water, it's okay. And the other person, maybe he has a different mood. No. Nice bed, nice hot water, the shower should be at least half the size of this temple. Like that, they have different mood because they have different nature. And so they need to adjust. But not that it comes as a surprise. Not that after getting married, so what about children? Children, I don't want any child. But I wanted 5 or 6. Yeah, but you never told me, sorry. So these things need to be discussed. Many things. The relation with your parents. Relation with spiritual life. Are you interested to really seriously advance? Or, okay, Krishna consciousness is there, but it's not like the big thing in my life. I have many more things to do. So, this is just an example. There are hundreds of questions. And those are very useful, very useful. So that's the following material does not be used in the presentation and will not be used even in this presentation. Okay, so we discussed astrology and Krishna consciousness. I hope you are confused enough. Because it is confusing. If you're clear, it means something is wrong. If you come out, Kaunteya Das said astrology is very good. Or if you go out, Kaunteya Das said astrology is very bad. You have not understood. Astrology is very good, but people are not very good in doing astrology. Last year in Calcutta, we were working on this. We had the private darshan with Radhana Maharaj, me and my wife, because we wanted to ask. Because different people said, oh, Radhana Maharaj tells this, Radhana Maharaj tells that, about astrology. So we went to Maharaj and asked these things, okay? And then he spoke. He said, his mantra, one nice sentence is, astrology is not the problem. Astrologers are the problem. And he gave example, which we also know, but gave example. You give a chart, 2 charts to an astrologer, he says, very good match, go ahead. You give to another astrologer, very bad match, forget about it. You give to a third astrologer, it's okay, maybe, yeah, it's okay, it may work, yeah. Not great, not too bad, but And so people get confused. Or again, there are many astrologers, like I can't say the name because it's a famous person, it's a Prabhupada disciple, and it's a saint, by the way. But one lady came to talk to us and said, look, we had 75%. And so it's a good pass, 75%. But also that they divorced in a few months. They were totally incompatible because it was only the numbers. And the numbers don't mean much by themselves. It doesn't mean much by themselves unless they have the foundation. So, I'm sorry if you expected that after this lesson everything will be clear. You'll have a list of astrologers where to go, maybe a list of astrologers where not to go, but I'm not able to give that. This is Well, see, we need to see the problem first. Now, my sense is that talking with many people in different parts of the world, see, you're from India, right? You're from India. So astrology is part of your culture, right? Your family did it for countless generations. So it's part of your life. Maybe you're not even too attracted, right? Because you grew up seeing astrology. So it's not like it's not the exotic, okay? But many devotees, especially from the West, it's not really part of their. Like the first time I discovered, I heard about astrologers in the newspaper, but the first time I discovered kind of someone doing astrology and talking and that, I was already 24, huh? Like that, no? So, what I was going to say? Yeah, our society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is like two-tier, like the Indian trains, two-tier. On top, we have the official, the Bhagavatam, the Trinad, Apisunichana, and so on and so forth. Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Okay? Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami. That's the top tier. And then, second tier, astrology. And sometimes you speak with devotees, you speak about this and that, and then after, my chart says, my astrologer said. And some places, unfortunately, some people, I tell you, sometimes the astrologer becomes more than the guru. For many people, it becomes more than the guru. Sometimes the astrologer said that. It's like, Mahavakya. So we do have a problem, cultural problem. And unfortunately, again, we also have not only the problem of dependence. In fact, my wife wrote this book, which I only have 2 copies, How to Mess Up Your Life with Astrology. She wrote this book because she has many experiences. She has a lot of stories. This person comes with me like this person comes with me like this person comes to me like this. So there is also philosophy, free will, karma, reincarnation, and all that. But she wrote this book. And Banu Maharaj wrote the foreword. Those who wish to consult an astrologer should read this book in order to prevent disappointment or disturbance in their life. So this is a tool that we have. Again, we would like, one of my dreams, desire, is to have at least a school, a training, at least for doing the matching. At least add all the elements, okay? At least see all the elements. Some people don't do like that, so that's my... Sure, we have 1.5 minutes, plenty of time. Oh, we go by offering, we don't go by astrological calculations. I thought, it's the muhurta. She's working on training someone. Yeah.
It really helps. And then the astrological component, at least from what you said, it looks like those foundations and the house and there are certain things like the nakshatra don't match and that kind of thing. Looks like even though it's a tough astrology, it's a science, it looks like from their experience, including your wife, I'm sure she learned certain key elements in there. Could we not have those things isolated and kind of inform people that, just don't go with just
Yeah, see, that's is something. See, she did the presentation at the ILS. You were there, so she is informing people. That this is the second one is what she presented. You were there, right? Yeah. So yes, there is a campaign of information. We are at the beginning. Okay. Obviously, we are not trying to, what do you call? We're just trying to help. Okay. Because people sometimes don't know. And again, some of these astrologers, they are really, some may be commercial and all that, but some they may actually be there to help people. But obviously, if you don't know, you don't know. You know, you think you're helping, but they're actually creating trouble or disasters. You see, it's not useless. It's not useless. It's not enough. Ah. Yeah, yeah. That's why I said if you want to take one thing, easy thing, that if an astrologer tells you, you bring the two people, match, and they just say, okay, 45%, 68%, means the person doesn't really know. If he only says that, if he only says 68%, the person means doesn't really know. Matching. Maybe other aspect of astrology is good, because astrology is a big science. But that aspect of matching, the person doesn't know. In fact, you see, Mataji, if you take this course, the course is not you, I'm just saying, when people take the course, we have 2 lessons about astrology. One in general and one in particular. We explain these things. So that part of the training. See, ideally, what I envision in the future is that ideally in every ISKCON temple, if you say make the marriage among the community, if you do for outsiders, it's different, okay? But at least within the community, I see this course becoming obligatory, mandatory, just like the disciple course, ISKCON disciple course, because it's a big choice in life. You take a guru, you cannot just be pushed around like this. I mean, oh, take this Maharaj, You have to know what does it mean. It's not just social thing. I take a more spiritual name or, Gaudiya name. So I see we are at the beginning. Again, the courses are not even up yet because we are putting them up. Ideally, in the future, we would like to see that in a temple say, okay, but at least do this course. It means hours of study, hours. Say 35,000 words. I don't know how many pages will that be. At least 70, 80, 100 pages. So they read all these things. That especially young people never heard about because they didn't read all the proper books, all the proper letters. I myself, many things was new for me. So they read all this. They have at least two questions for every lesson. And these are more reflecting. What does it mean for you? Like we were discussing question. They had to think, how would you say to a friend who asked this? So they had to answer 70, 80 questions. So at least we could say that they have been exposed. How much they got, and what mood they did, that of course we can't guarantee. So maybe Naperville in the future will be one of those places that, we got to a boy and a girl, they come, would like to get married, say, but at least do the course. And then maybe some mentorship. Some of you sit with them, so have you asked these questions? At the end, there are very practical questions. Very practical questions. And you can sit them down and ask. And in other groups, religious groups, they have this system. They have these books. Once I took a one-day course in Akron, Ohio, near Cleveland. And I took a one-day course how to use premarital training materials that they produced. They gave a big folder, and that one day was just how to use that material, like that. So they have many systems. They have many systems. In some churches, you cannot just go and get married. They just say they have a 6-month training. Because it's an important thing. And people, especially either because they're young and therefore they're immature, by definition, or because they're just in love, which is even worse, because the infatuation, oh, when I see her face, I am so happy, therefore we'll be happy next 40 years. Yeah, but the face changes, you know. I mean, Albert Einstein said the problem with marriage is that men think that the woman will never change. Means how she's nice now, and how she's beautiful now, and how she's respectful now. Prabhuji, you want more chapati, you want more sabji? You know, that the man thinks the woman never change, and the man thinks the woman thinks the man will change. Now he's spaced out, he's responsible, he's dirty, you know, he throws socks in the 4 corners of the room, and he will change. Did I? Did I? Did I? Did I? We were talking compatibility. We are not talking gay marriage here. That's the next seminar. That's the next seminar. Okay, so you tell me, you told me 1 o'clock, then at 1 o'clock happened, nothing happened, then you told me the offering is not there. Did he cook at all? I mean, just, like the foundational questions, Yes. No, the courses that we charge. Right now it's, I think, $25 a course. And see, we are at the beginning, okay? We plan to have a blog, we plan to have links. The website is up. Somebody can check if it's up? But okay, it's up. You checked. Okay. The courses, we are just putting them up. The lessons are ready and everything. We just have some delay. Our developer, by the way, they're doing it in Coimbatore. So our developer had some problems, so some delays there. But if everything goes smooth, in a month or so, the courses will be available. You decide who goes first. Fate means F-A-T. Okay. F-A-T-E. No, but what does it mean everything is predetermined? You're crossing a road, there is a red light, okay? You're not thinking, anyway, everything is predetermined. If I have to have an accident, I'll have it anyway. If I don't have an accident, I won't have it. No, there are signs, it's called signs, that they say don't cross now, okay? So if you're intelligent, you don't cross now. So Srila Prabhupada said, okay, there are maybe a range of girls you may marry, but this is a red sign, green sign, yellow sign. depends on the astrologer. Because you see, the astrologer depends on the astrologer. See, Srila Prabhupada gives a class. One of this teaching of Queen Kaunteya, I believe. He says, every Brahmana knew two things, Jyotish and Ayurveda. Because everybody's interested in the future, and everybody's interested in health. Okay? So it's a normal thing. You're a Brahmana, may not even be a professional astrologer, but you know some Jyotish. Okay? Because that's what people ask. Huh? So, I give you an example. Okay? If the astrologer is good, is devotional, say for instance, you are entering the Venus period. Huh? Venus generally means more opportunities for enjoyment, maybe for money, you'll have access to beauty, you will have access to comforts. Generally. So, a non-devotee astrologer, he would say, oh, very good, you're entering Venus, very good. Huh? Because he's a materialist. But the devotee may tell you, Prabhu, be careful, You'll have a period in which you'll have temptations, you'll have distractions. Be careful. Be careful. You follow? It's the same chart. But, and an astrologer who is also a preacher, Vaishnava, and knows the philosophy, he will tell you how you need to react or respond to a particular period. Or a particular situation. Like that lady, initiated devotee, when she saw that the nature of the boy was not to be an engineer, she started paying lakhs to astrologers for this homa, that stone, as if a homa can change the nature of people. I mean, if you throw the person, the homa maybe, but there's the homa. How can you change their karma by homa? It's like, and she was spending lakhs of rupees just to do these things. Instead of just relaxing, okay, Krishna sent me a nice boy who's into art. So what? What's the problem? You follow? So in other words, sometimes you think it's a problem. What is a problem? The problem is what you define as a problem. Right? You may think, oh, I'm in America. This is great. I don't know. I'm not saying you think like that, but you may think, okay, I made it to America. But you may think, gee, I'm in America. I'm in trouble. You follow? It's the same America. It's the same you. But you can see things in a different way. So the astrologer, ideally, if he's an enlightened, and if he has the time, and if he will tell you what you need to learn. It's not black magic. You follow? I would like this, I would like that. Some people say, when will I get married? No? When will I get married? But are you ready to get married? People don't ask these questions to the astrologer. You ever heard somebody going to an astrologer and say, Panditji, how do I prepare myself psychologically, spiritually to marriage? They won't ask these things. Nobody asks this thing. Right? So the whole thing is off because the conditioned soul is off. But we can make choices and we can consider. No, you came to America. How you came to America, you didn't say, oh, if everything is predestined, I'll go to America. No, you work for your passport, you work for your visa, you work for your ticket. Huh? You didn't sit there in, where are you from? You were not sitting there in Hyderabad and you were thinking in Telugu. Anyway, if it's my karma, I'll get a passport. No problem. I'll get a visa. Somebody will knock on the door and bring me a visa. What's the problem? And some company will hire me. What's the problem? You were not doing that, right? And you probably had some choices, right? Go to that company, go to this, go in Illinois, go somewhere else, right? He didn't say everything is predestined. Come on, give me any job. Yeah, sweep the toilets in Secunderabad. Yeah, it must be predestined. But certain things beyond our control, certain things obviously are predestined. Predestined means they already happened. Huh? Prarabdha karma. We're already born somewhere. You can't change that. We are already born in a certain family. Right? Those things you can't change. But you can change your attitude. Huh? That's what we're doing in Krishna consciousness, right? International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It's not called International Society for those who are predestined by karma to think of Krishna. It's a choice. In fact, Krishna says, Sarva dharmam parityaja, mamikam sharanam braja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami, masucha. He said, you may have a big baggage of sin. You can still surrender. Right? He didn't say, okay, work out your sins, do some, remedy of this, remedy of that, some pious activity, plant some tree, dig some well, and then you can surrender. He doesn't say that. He said, you surrender to me, I'll clean your karma. Clean your karma means you may exactly the same thing may happen to you, but you'll have a different consciousness. The same thing will happen to you. You'll think, oh, thank you, Krishna, only this is coming. Huh? Some distress is coming, you'll see, oh, thank you, Krishna. Huh. You make me understand how real is this world. Now I have my house, now I have my courtyard, and these little nice rabbits come, right? Rabbits come to your, yeah? Oh, it looks like paradise. Huh? There's no garbage in the street. So, but now, Krishna, you're helping me. It's not paradise at all. It's dukhalayam ashashvatam. So it's a different attitude. It's a complete different attitude. And astrology, if it's part of that package of training, yeah, there's a role. If it's just your ego, your idea, Ishvara Bhava, you think you're an enjoyer, and you're astrologer, then it's completely off. Because people go, how can I enjoy? Why I'm not enjoy? Or when I will enjoy? That's what the people ask in different forms. And the astrologer who is not enlightened just answers that. You follow? He doesn't see himself as a teacher. Okay, you give me money, I'll tell you where your stars are. And give me money, I'll give you some stone, I'll do this, that. And then again, like Radha Maharaj said, astrology is not the problem. It's astrologers who are the problem. And again, you see, I would love to give you more clear instruction, but this is Srila Prabhupada. Great science, we believe in astrology, don't know it, difficult, nonsense. Yes. It depends on your maturity. You follow? It's like if you ask me, what kind of vehicle can I drive? Depends. You follow? Maybe you don't even have a car license. Huh? Or you can very, very easily drive these huge trucks, with 16 wheels. Maybe it's okay for you. But for other person it will be a disaster. Some people may even drive an airplane. That's what they do. But I don't know how to drive an airplane. So you say, well, it depends on the maturity, depending on the people. And depending, are you looking for it or it happens? I remember one episode, this was 25 years ago at least, 25 years ago. So I was younger. So for me, I was just discovering these things, okay? And then I had a good brother in Calcutta. He was 70-year-old, very, very, very senior, senior physically, and he had been a professional astrologer, okay? I don't know if he's still alive because it was 70-year-old 25 years ago. So if he's alive, he's 95 or something. Anyway, what happened is that I was living in Mayapur. I had these friends coming from Italy, okay? And because they were, 25, so they were also in their 25s, they were thinking of getting married, no? And I remember going to bringing 3 people to him. One, when there, so what about marriage? He said, yeah, no problem, you can get married. No problem, you can marry. Then another one, what about marriage? Yeah, no problem, you can get married. In fact, this person is still, they're married, they're, nice couple, nice devotees serving in the temple, like that, no problem. In other words, the marriage was not a problem for him, for his spiritual life. A third person, we bring close friend. What about marriage? He said, look, if you get married, you lose everything. I was shocked. Because generally, astrologers don't say that. No, Indian astrologers don't say that. This is astrologer, a devotee. He told him, if you get married, you lose everything. And he was a very charismatic type of devotee, a preacher, a book distributor, a very intelligent, very dynamic. He didn't take it seriously. I tell you, when he said like that, I felt like, in the spine, that electricity, because I knew he's not going to say like this, like that. Because especially I had the other 2 experience. They say, yeah, I'll get married, no problem. So it was not like some fanatic type, He said, look, I remember I was up in the Lotus building. He looked at him and said, if you get married, you will lose everything. He didn't take serious. Then they arranged kind of a marriage with a girl who was staying in the temple, and got married. Then in a few months, he lost everything. He was a book distributor and a leader, and he ended up working in a bar at midnight serving alcohol to people. That in a few months, he lost everything. And after a couple of years, they also divorced. And now he has this child, but now child must be, a young man. He had this child, and he lost everything. And it's nice and everything, but he just lost everything, exactly as the astrologer said. He lost everything. He lost everything. He ended up serving whiskey in a bar. And he was a very intelligent preacher, very dynamic, brilliant, attractive. He said, if you don't get married, you can become a great spiritual leader. But if you get married, you lose everything. And that's exactly what happened. So, but again, in that case, like we could say, for him was Krishna's arrangement in one sense, because he didn't ask, you follow. It just happened to be, and like that. So Krishna sometimes speaks through different people. But some devotees are different. They go to each astrologer until they get the answer they want. Once we were in Mexico, Monterrey, my wife was contacted by a lady, a rich lady. My wife was the 29th astrologer that this lady went to see. 29. What they had to tell you? I mean, first of all, she was not young, so she had already life. So you know your life, you know your mind, what do you want me to tell you that you don't know? 29, it becomes like a obsession, like an addiction. And some people, like one girl went to my wife and said, what about my marriage? And she had to tell, look, I don't see marriage in your chart. It's the devotee, initiated devotee, and she was getting a little older, the 30s, moving towards the 40s. And my wife had to tell, I don't see any marriage, I'm sorry. And then she kind of replied, no, but Krishna can change everything. Fine, Krishna can change everything. But then astrological is like this. I can tell you, okay, Krishna can change anything, but well, that doesn't tell you much, right? Huh? You wanted to say something? So the idea is that as soon as that thing opens, it's time to take prashad. That's the idea, right? That's the sign. Yeah, I'll take him and then I'll come back to you. Vastu Shastra, in my sense, is not as dangerous as astrology. It can be also addictive. Addictive in the sense people become obsessed. I'm sitting here, according to Vastu Shastra, I should be sitting here. Can become addictive. But I see it's less of an issue. And I think if you put a couple of $1 million in building something, better you check. Even there you have different opinions. You show something, one Vastu, whatever they call it, expert or what they call it? What they call it? Vastu Shastri, and he said, yeah, this is very nice. We go to another, no, this is very bad. There are different theories, different schools. I never went deep, but, something useful. There are vibrations, like ventilation. So similar, there are subtle vibrations. Now the place for fire, the place for water. It's a science, so. Again, that doesn't have to be an obsession. Obsession, because you can't always have the perfect vastu everywhere. But, you're investing a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money. Make it in a way that, probably is good. We are using it for the master plan in Mayapur. Means, you are building a city, check that at least some good energy, But again, sorry, I find it very, because it's not so personal, you follow. It doesn't tell you your future, this or that. So it's more detached. Okay, it's a house, it's an office, it's a temple. Astrology is more like your sense of identity, your future, your fortune. The fortune is that you got Krishna consciousness. That's fortune. You follow. If one understands that, it's like if you say somebody comes with a truck full of notes of $100 bill, a truck full of notes. Where should I put it? Yeah, put it there. Okay, and then you start thinking, well, let's see if I'm lucky. I can find it. Oh, a cent. I found a cent. I'm lucky. You follow? You got a ton of money. You're not looking for the cent. So you got Krishna. What else is there? This life is like a blink in an eye. It's a blink of an eye. What happens the blink of an eye? You want to spend so much time on that? If you have Krishna, you take the lotus feet of Krishna and hold with all your strength. Yeah, it may be hot, it may be cold, it may be rain, and snow, but those are external things. Life goes on, right? You have been through winter. It's pretty severe, but life goes on, right? Life goes on. Okay, it's winter, you have to put socks, you have to put this and that, but life goes on. That's why we need to be absorbed in the Bhagavad-gita and the philosophy, like Mataji was saying. We need to internalize, integrate. You use the word, not condense, but you have to use the word integrate, but something like that. But anyway, in other words, we need to understand what that means. It's not just, oh, I passed the Bhakti Shastri. But are you seeing through that? You need to understand. Yeah, absorb and see through that. It's not just an academic thing, oh, I passed the test. Abrahama Bhuvana Loka Punaravartin Arjuna. These planets are within this world, you follow. So you may have the best plan. Okay, what chart you want? Okay, make your own chart. Okay, make your own chart. This is the chart. Put the planets wherever you want. Okay, just put them wherever you want. Okay, still you die. I'm sorry. No, that thing in the chart. No, there's no planet of immortality. I'm sorry. So how much time you want to deal with that? So it's a question of perspective. What's big, what's small? It's a question of your consciousness. Huh? Ah. Why not? Of course. Well, that's their choice. You try to help, okay? You try to help. You try to help. Again, you have to see how you go do the matching and all that. That's a different story. But you try to help. You're the mother, no? Young people don't get in love with this and that, and you need to. I know one devotee. Very serious devotee. The son decided to get married to one girl, and she was atheistic, everything, and the father told him, look, I'm not coming to your marriage, okay? I'm not coming. And that kind of the son go, oops, so serious, maybe I need to think twice. So you don't have to just go along. Again, the mood is to try to help, try to help. And obviously, you can't just go by prejudice. Oh, she's Russian. No, well, Russian can be very good, obviously. So, no prejudice, but try to help. See, at least astrologically, if you know a good astrologer, yes, why not? Check. You can ask, can we check? You don't mind if we check? Why not? Well, sometimes you need to take a stand and say, look, I'm not going to help you, I'm sorry. I mean, you see, depends how serious is the mismatch. You follow? If you really know, it's like some astrologers, they're good, they know that, okay, you get married this person, you will die. Sometimes it's this serious. Sometimes it's this serious. I know, anyway. Sometimes it's this serious. They tell you, you don't marry because you get married, you die. That's kind of serious, right? They may even match. They may even have a good compatibility. Other things, But sometimes they're a serious thing. So these are sciences that, when they're done properly, which is a big if, then it can be very helpful. This is a science for non-civilized people. So now your personal situation, you have to see. Now, is he planning to marry anybody? You're just worrying, like mothers worry. No, okay, you have to see. You first see. You first see what comes up, and then you will see what's the best. So astrologically now is a good time for eating. And look, these I have some of this, actually they're posted downstairs. This is the little thing. Bhakti Marriages says, considering getting married, join the online training at bhaktimarriage.com. I have a few if you want to take it. These are something else if you want to take it. This is a book, which today is a very auspicious day to buy the book for two reasons. First of all, it's the last day. Tomorrow I'm going. Second, today is the appearance of Janavi Devi. And this book is dedicated to Srimati Janava Devi, because it's about the role of women as preachers or giving spiritual shelter. Okay? So I have a few copies. And today we give a special discount. Last time I told you it was a donation. Huh? So you can give a smaller donation today. And then I have the last two copies of this book, How to Mess Up Your Life with Astrology. Some of you read this book? Some of you know this book? Oh, you have it? You have it? You have it? Seems, huh? Achha. So, Sarira Vidyaja to all of you. And today